So my general tips for art are a few. One of them, the most important one, is don't love your baby too much. Um, don't love your baby too much. Okay, it's your drawing is your baby. I get it. You have created it, and you're like, oh, I've brought this life into the no. Remember that babies, to grow into adults, they need history. So transform your baby. Don't just. I know you have your one shitty anime eye, but I'm talking to myself, that you want to keep consistent, and so you base everything around it, and you keep deleting parts and trying to fix that one shitty little detail, and it's like, don't do that. Transform your artwork. Look at it like you're trying to make something into a microcosmos. You start off with your little baby lines, and you're like, I want to draw something, have a core motive, like fucking, I don't know, whatever I'm drawing right now, I don't know yet. I'm recording this in advance. Why am I doing that? I don't know. And you're like, I have my core thing, fucking a butterfly, a camera, a landscape, a person, I don't know, whatever. And then let it decay on canvas as you continue drawing, which brings me to my second and third point. Second being, keep your hand in motion. Don't sit paralyzed staring at what you've drawn and think, I don't know, I don't like this, but I don't know what to do. If you don't like something, zoom all the way out, like way out, or have this little, like, in Paint Tools, in the top left, I have this little square that shows me, like, oh, what does your drawing look like from 10 million miles away? That's pretty good. Keep the main composition, like the main, what it looks like from far away in check. Don't let one little area have like a whole lot of detail and try to orient yourself around that, and then everything else just kind of dies off, and you're like, oh no, don't kill your baby, right? Kill your baby, transform your baby, let it decay as you work on it and see it evolve on its own with as little bias as you can manage if you want to have it be more abstract, and with more bias if you want to have it be less abstract. More bias meaning something like giving it human features instead of having just mushrooms come out of its eyeballs, or making it into an airplane, right? It's like, you can't just let your hands your thoughts as your hands are moving, like let it devolve and let it actually decay into whatever goes on in your subconscious, or you have more bias and you're like, well, I want to have this be such and such, and then try to have it evolve into that. And that brings me to my third point. It's like, how do I do that and know what looks good? And for that I say, train and trust your eyeballs. This isn't just an art thing. This is a real life thing. You look at stuff. You have eyeballs, I presume. They're pretty good, so use them. They're good. Trust them. Look at things and sometimes wonder, because I get it. Life can be ass, and you want to talk about how life is ass all the fucking time, and everybody, it's so cool to just want to sit in a corner and cry all day. That's the trend. I get it. I do it all the time. But also, you will die like that eventually. I mean, you'll die anyway, but you'll die like that more quickly, and your spirit will die even quicker, because you just become a husk. At least fill yourself up with the magic of beauty found in tiny, useless things. Like if you walk around the house and you see a tiny bug and it's adorable, and you're like, oh, you're just so cute, look at you on the little freaking leaf that you're sitting on, and then think about what makes this beautiful, composition wise, so you know how to draw it if you want to draw, and emotionally, because you want to not kill yourself. That's a good one. Use those, work with them. They're pretty good. They're pretty good guidelines. Whatever fascinates you and inspires you to stand still for a second and look at something, inspect your own conscious attention and ask yourself, why is that the case? And over time, you'll grasp the rules of what makes something beautiful, and then you can sort of have whatever motive or whatever general idea you comes into your head. You can kind of just like let it flow out of you almost automatically as your hands translate this knowledge of your eyeballs into something that looks coherent. But you need to keep it like a microcosm. Keep the entire piece somewhat connected. If you have one area where you start adding yellow blobs, then make it so that in the composition they appear in more spaces so it's balanced out. So you have like similar shapes that mirror each other, so it's self-contained. After a while in each drawing, I don't pick new colors anymore. Or rarely I do. I just transform the ones I've already put down, or pick from them, or pick from like middle areas and blend them. Try to keep it consistent within itself. And sometimes it's gonna be good to like break through this and like completely break all the rules and like let little elements stand out. This is like just my general rule of thumb. I don't even know what the hell I'm gonna draw over this. I'm just sitting here fucking talking before I've even recorded anything, because I felt like if I give myself the rules beforehand, maybe I can follow them a bit better while drawing, which makes it more coherent instead of just drawing something completely unrelated and then having people be like, what, she's not even talking about what she's doing, which might be the case. I don't actually know. But yeah, in that previous video where I had the Hook Man, this is a good example. Because he started out as me trying to make a point about how to make things pretty with pastel colors really quickly. Just take something you know, or you want to learn how to draw, which for me was just shoulders and arms, and then cut off parts you don't want to learn how to draw, like hands, and make them into fucking shitty leaves or something, and just give it like pastel colors. So you tried to learn something, you made it an appealing end result, and you also probably had fun in the process, because pastel colors make everybody happy. Anyway, do that, but also in the end I couldn't really talk about it because it devolved into madness, and I found out Hookman was baiting me into drawing something pastel because he actually wanted to be drawn. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm doing this now and not moving for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6, 7 hours, just sitting on my desk doing nothing but draw the Hookman. And it works out great because it's a microcosm. That first image turned into that moldy rainbow. Then I had something which I didn't like, and then I started off a drawing by putting bait, and the bait evolved into the Hookman, who sits with his face glued half to the bottom of the sea and is half devoured by a black hole. And it evolved beautifully. I killed my baby. You know, you should too. Try it out sometime.